Hello guys! Over our years as a YouTube channel, we have had the pleasure of working with some fantastic marine product companies, and we're very excited to tell you that today we're going to be reviewing Bluetti's AC240. Ross, can you tell me about some of its key features?
Well, this has literally just come out a few days ago, and the first key feature I just want to quickly talk about is the fact it has an IP65 rating.
What does that mean?
Which means it's water resistant. You can throw as much dust, any kind of dirt at this thing and it's not going to get damaged. Also, it has water resistance against water jets. So like you the other day, you got it wet whilst you were showering, it doesn't matter. You can't go dropping it in the sea, so it's not waterproof.
But you don't have to worry so much if you're kind of doing your water-based stuff around it.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to be thinking, oh my gosh, if I splash it, it's going to blow up.
The boys are forever jumping off the back of the boat, and they come in, they don't care about where they're flicking their water. So that, for me, was a really good selling point. This actually has a lot inside. I mean, if you look at our kit that we have on our boat, we currently have Super B LiFePro4 batteries, a Victron Multi-Plus, 3 Victron solar chargers. I know I'm forgetting something. There's a whole lot of stuff we have on the boat, and it is a lot of money's worth of stuff for starters. It takes a lot to install it all, and we love it, don't get me wrong. But I have to say, this, in this little box, has all of that stuff in one box.
Seriously?
Yeah.
So why did we do everything else?
There's pros and cons to both. I don't regret doing what we've done.
No, absolutely.
But if we were starting again and we had a limited budget, this would be the first thing I'd look at. Also, if you're on the move, if you're traveling, if you have an RV, a truck, you're going camping, even at home, you can actually use this thing, which we'll talk about more in a minute. But going back to the key features, it has a solar charger. You can plug in solar panels up to 1200 watts, so it can absorb a lot of solar.
Wow.
And charge fast. If you have access to mains electricity, AC, this thing will charge from 0 to 80% in 45 minutes. That's 2.2 kilowatts. So that's a big improvement. Our last one took, I think, about 4 or 5 hours. It was limited to 450 watts. The batteries are LiFePro4 as well, which means they have over 3,000 cycles. And that's full cycles.
It's going to last you a long time,
so it's going to last years.
Yeah.
As you know, with LiFePro4 batteries, they can discharge and reabsorb really, really well. It's the best #1 go-to battery to have in anything. It's
also a very environmentally friendly battery. Did you know that about lithium?
I didn't.
There you go. Learn something new every day.
The built-in inverter is capable of kicking out 2.4 kilowatts, which will run our most powerful appliance on the boat, which is our Ninja Food Eye air frying oven.
We use that all the time, and actually it's just so nice to not have gas on board. I've always felt a little bit uncomfortable with that anyway, so we actually don't have the gas on, even though it is something we could use on the boat. We actually have the gas off at all times, and we have an electric hob, and we have this huge all singing, all dancing oven, which has just been fantastic. You can do everything in that. So I'm just cooking up some pudding for tonight. And we've got strawberries, raspberries, and some chocolate over here. I'm just melting it in the pan in this beautiful, beautiful anchorage. This is what you call cooking with a view.
Cheers, what then?
No, it's for after dinner. We can be much more creative with our cooking, and obviously we're not using a barbecue, so we're not using carbon, we're not burning fuel and releasing all of that into the environment. So yeah.
And where does the power come from? It comes from the sun. Couldn't be greener than that, couldn't be more silent. It's free, and there's nothing better, I think, than having this charging on the solar panels all day and then cooking your food with the energy it's received.
Yeah, knowing that you're not taking anything from anything. You're just creating something that's completely renewable. So yeah, it's awesome.
It's pretty cool. So whilst it has a 2.4 kilowatt inverter, and will run our most powerful appliance. In addition to that, it has a lifting power mode, which bumps it up to 3.6 kilowatts.
I don't understand, what's the lifting power mode?
It basically means you can go to 3.6 kilowatts if you're just heating. So if you're running heating appliances, like boiling a kettle, cooking on the hob, cooking on the oven, you can actually stretch that, which means we can actually run our oven and the hob at the same time.
Which we definitely can't do normally on board.
We can't do that with our Victron Multiplus 2.
No, Ross is constantly telling me to, don't turn that on, make sure that's not on. Why have you got them two running at the same time? But yeah, we don't have to think about that with this.
No, we've got a portable air conditioner that we can run off this.
That's going to be good this summer.
There's Starlink. So that's the AC side of things. There are also many other outlets. All are IP65 rated, so even with these open, you can splash them with water and it'll all be fine. They do recommend you wipe it off before plugging something in, but you don't have to stress if it gets wet. They have USB ports, which are USB-C, 2 of them. They are rated to 100 watts, so you can actually plug my most powerful laptop directly into that. And that's a really efficient DC to DC way of doing things. You've got the old USB ones there as well, so for like our toothbrush, you can charge that. And then here you have your standard cigarette lighter connection. We don't really use that very often.
Because we don't smoke?
No, although the paddleboard pump runs off that.
Oh, okay.
So that's quite handy. This one here is a lifesaver, and I'll tell you why. This will plug an RV 30 amp cable into here, and you can plug that directly into your 12 volt system of your boat, perhaps your RV or other things, but in our case for our boat. And if you ever have problems with your main batteries, let's just say we're out in the middle of the Atlantic and we've got no batteries, you can plug this lead in and it will run all your 12 volt system, your plotter, everything that's 12 volts all comes back on again.
So it's like an additional safety feature for your boat as well.
Definitely. So for us it is a backup. We will be using it to power other things when we want to power more than one thing at once. It has a feature called UPS, which is uninterrupted power supply. If you're living in an area where you get power cuts quite often, this thing can be plugged into your mains to any important appliances or devices that you have that you don't want to be cut off when you have a power cut. So for example, let's just say you live out in the middle of Alaska and it's really cold and snowy and you have oil central heating. If you get a power cut, this clicks in straight away and will run the electric for your oil boiler, which doesn't draw much electric. It'll keep that running. You could have your lights, still running off this, so it can immediately kick in and be a home backup as well.
What if you live on a boat in Greece, you're plugged into electric and you work on your boat and you're doing like Skype calls, Zoom calls, really important internet stuff, and as it does in Greece, the power cuts out. It could work for that as well. Yeah,
if one of the boats drops a lead in the sea and cuts the whole pontoon, this will kick in and take over. So that's what UPS means. Another feature is it's cloud-based, so you can connect this to your Wi-Fi, in our case the Starlink, and you can completely control this, all its parameters, turn things on and off with your phone from anywhere in the world.
Wow.
So we could be in Thailand right now and we could turn this on and turn some lights on the boat, put spotlights on, or cameras or whatever.
Yeah, like a security system or something.
It's really, really versatile. As I say, there is a lot in this thing. Finally, just want to quickly touch on capacity. This has, as we've just said, a very powerful inverter, but that does mean it's quite power hungry. It has a 1500 watt hour capacity, so that would probably last half an hour of 3.2 kilowatts, yeah? You can get extra additional battery packs that plug into this, and they're modular, so they stack really well. In fact, we're going to show you now.
Ta-da!
So this is the battery power pack. It's a B210, and this adds an extra 2,150 watt hours. So by having that additional capacity, we now have a total of 3,686 watts or watt hours. It is a modular system. If you just, don't worry, don't panic. Can you see here, if you're at the bottom, there, look, you've got grooves on the top, and the feet, which are like strips, they just drop in. So it's a bit like stacking Lego. It clicks in. Can you feel that?
Yeah.
And it's actually really, really stable. And you can get, I think, up to 4 of these batteries to add to it. So you can have another stack next to it and just stack it how you want. If you've got like a wardrobe that's really high, you can have them all in one stack or stack next to it. And then you get these cables that join it all together. These are all IP65 rated as well, color coded, which is simple. So you've got an orange socket here, which you just push on, that's on. And then this one, IP65 rated as well, blue goes on the blue, just click it in, done. This expansion battery isn't just a battery, although it mainly is. It also has a USB-A, USB-C, and a cigarette lighter adapter on it as well. You can charge the B10 through the AC240, or it has a built-in solar charger as well, so you can plug in up to 500 watts of solar. So you can do a bit more with it, but its main purpose is just to add more capacity to this on days where you need it, which is mainly cooking or heating.
So if you think the AC240 or its expansion battery could have power to your life, then of course you'll find a link in the description box below to both of these products. And if you're keen to watch our normal episodes, then please do hit like, subscribe, and hit that notification button.
As we've got one coming out very shortly. Thank you and goodbye.
Bye.